Welcome to ClubhouseNews.com. You're tuned in to Clubhouse News Weekend for the week ending Saturday, April 4th. I'm Shays.
And I'm Sebastian. The Edward M. Kennedy Institute was open to the public this week, honoring the late Democratic senator known as Ted Kennedy. Ted was a younger brother of President John F. Kennedy, who led the USA against the Soviet Union during the Cold War before his assassination in 1963. JFK prevented nuclear war with the Soviets during the Cuban Missile Crisis naval standoff and helped America win the space race. No, not that space race. We're talking about NASA funding their Apollo missions that led to America landing on the moon in 1969. The Kennedy family is one of America's most famous political families, much like the Bush and Clinton families. Ted Kennedy served as a USA Senator for nearly 47 years and was respected by both Republicans and Democrats for his willingness to compromise on tough issues. In fact, during the dedication ceremony for the Institute, President Barack Obama was joined by Republican senators like John McCain. The Institute will educate visitors about the Senate, which is one half of the USA's lawmaking Congress with 2 representatives from each state. The other half, the House of Representatives, has 435 voting members based on state populations, which is why California gets 53 and Nevada only gets 3.
Voters in Africa's most populous and richest nation, Nigeria, elected Muhammadu Buhari president this week, replacing Goodluck Jonathan. Should we call him Bad Luck Jonathan now? After serving as the country's president from 2010 to 2015, Jonathan conceded defeat, the first sitting Nigerian president to ever do so. Buhari won by about 2 million votes and promises to fight corruption in the West African nation, where he'll govern over 174 million people. He also vowed to go after the Muslim terrorist group Boko Haram, which is headquartered in Nigeria. Boko Haram recently pledged allegiance to the Islamic State, a group of extremists who the USA and its Middle East allies are battling.
Stick those slip and slides back in storage. California is enduring its worst drought in 1,200 years. Governor Jerry Brown issued the state's first ever mandatory water reductions. The water shortage is due to low snowfall over the Sierra Peaks, and scientists believe it may have been caused by climate change. They say the Earth is warming up from man-made pollution that traps the sun's heat, triggering extreme temperatures. NASA has even predicted that the USA will experience a landscaping-altering mega-drought lasting 20 to 40 years. Governor Brown's initiative will reduce water consumption by 25% in the next 9 months. Limiting its use on grassy areas like golf courses, cemeteries, and other similar spaces. The government will also replace 50 million square feet of lawn across the state with drought-resisting landscaping.
As Jews celebrated Passover on April 3rd, Christians observed Good Friday, followed by Easter Sunday. Passover remembers the liberation of Jewish slaves from Egyptian pharaohs 3,300 years ago. According to the Old Testament, God punished Egypt with 10 plagues like locust swarms, frog invasions, and water turning into blood. When the 10th one struck, claiming Egypt's firstborn sons, Jews were spared and passed over by the Spirit of God. During Passover, which runs from April 3rd to April 11th, Jewish people offer prayers and hold an elaborate meal called Seder. They eat cracker-like bread called matzah and bitter herbs known as maror. Meanwhile, Christians honor the death of Jesus Christ on Good Friday and his resurrection 3 days later on Easter Sunday. According to Christianity, Jesus was the Son of God, and he performed many miracles such as healing the sick and walking on water.
Ciao.
After his crucifixion, Christians believe that Christ rose from the dead, and on Easter, they join in prayer. As for the tradition of egg painting, that began some 60,000 years ago, since decorated ostrich eggs were found in Africa dating that far back. The legend of the Easter Bunny isn't anywhere near that old, starting in the 1600s when German Lutherans told kids that the Easter hare would judge them for being good or bad. You know, like Santa Claus, except with long floppy ears.